Downloadable toolkits and guides. Job search guide, step-by-step on crafting CVs, interview preparation, and using job boards. Overview. This guide offers an in-depth roadmap for crafting compelling CVs and cover letters, acing interviews, and leveraging job boards and networking opportunities effectively. Whether you are new to the UK job market or looking to switch careers, this toolkit provides all the resources you need. Section A. Crafting a CV and cover letter. Crafting an effective CV. Purpose of a CV. Your CV is your first impression on potential employers. It should highlight your skills, experiences, and achievements in a concise format. Key components: contact information, full name, phone number, email, and LinkedIn profile. Professional summary, a 3 to 4 sentence summary showcasing your career goals and expertise. Work experience, list positions in reverse chronological order. Include job title, company name, and key responsibilities. Use bullet points and quantify achievements where possible. For example, increased sales by 25% over 6 months. Education and certifications, highlight relevant degrees and certifications. Include coursework or projects related to the job. Skills, include technical, for example programming languages, and soft skill. For example communication, teamwork. Additional sections if applicable, volunteer experience, awards, publications, or professional memberships. Formatting tips, use clear headings and bullet points for readability. Keep it professional and error-free. Crafting a compelling cover letter, structure, introduction, briefly introduce yourself and your interest in the role. Body, explain why you are the ideal candidate, focusing on specific skills and achievements. Closing, reiterate your enthusiasm for the role and request an interview. Tailoring tips, research the company and reference their mission or recent achievements. Address your letter to the hiring manager. Use "Dear Hiring Manager" if unsure. Section B. Interview preparation. Before the interview, research, study the company's website, mission statement, and recent projects. Read employee reviews on Glassdoor or Indeed to understand the work culture. Practice, prepare answers to common questions. Tell me about yourself. What are your strengths, weaknesses? Why should we hire you? Use the STAR method: situation, task, action, result for behavioral questions. During the interview, presentation, wear professional attire suited to the company culture. Arrive 10 to 15 minutes early. Communication, maintain eye contact and a confident posture. Use examples to back up your answers. Questions to ask: what does success look like in this role? What are the team's biggest challenges currently? After the interview, follow up. Send a thank you email within 24 hours, reiterating your interest and summarizing key points from the discussion. Section C. Using job boards and networking. Top job boards, general platforms, Indeed, Reed, Total Jobs, industry-specific, tech, CW Jobs, healthcare, NHS Jobs, finance, e-financial careers. Networking tips, online networking. Optimize your LinkedIn profile with a professional photo and a compelling headline. Engage with industry-related posts and join relevant LinkedIn groups. In-person networking, attend job fairs and local meetups. Use a personal pitch to introduce yourself effectively. Section D. Advanced tips for immigrants. Handling gaps in your CV. Explain gaps due to relocation, education, or family responsibilities positively. Focus on transferable skills gained during the period. Overcoming language barriers. Use language apps like Grammarly for email communication. Take short courses to improve business English. Navigating work permits. Ensure your visa allows employment. Highlight your eligibility to work in the UK on your CV. Additional resources, templates, download editable CV and cover letter templates, workbooks. Practice common interview questions using the included workbook. Housing Rights Guide, details on UK tenant rights, finding affordable housing, and navigating leases. Overview, navigating the UK rental market can be challenging, especially for immigrants unfamiliar with tenant rights and responsibilities. This expanded guide covers everything from understanding tenancy agreements to resolving disputes with landlords. Section A. Understanding tenant rights. Legal protections for tenants. Key tenant rights. The right to live in a safe and well-maintained property. Protection from unfair eviction under the Housing Act 1988. Access to written agreements outlining tenancy terms. Landlord responsibilities. Repair and maintain the property's structure, for example. Roofs, walls, plumbing. Ensure appliances like boilers, heating systems, and smoke alarms are functional. Provide necessary documentation, including gas safety certificate renewed annually. Energy performance certificate EPC. Deposit protection information. Security of tenure. Fixed-term tenancy, typically 6 to 12 months. Landlords cannot terminate the lease without proper cause during this period. Periodic rolling tenancy continues indefinitely after a fixed term ends unless terminated with notice. Deposit protection requirement. Landlords must register your deposit in a government-approved scheme like DPS, My Deposits, or TDS. You should receive a deposit protection certificate within 30 days of payment. Section B. Finding affordable housing. Where to search for rentals, online platforms, Rightmove and Zoopla for flats and houses. Spare room and open rent for shared housing. Social networks. Check local Facebook housing groups and community forums. Negotiating rent. Tips. Research average rental prices in the area to ensure fair pricing. Negotiate rent reductions for long-term leases or unfurnished properties. If utilities are included, confirm what's covered, for example heating, electricity. Council housing and assistance. Eligibility. Council housing is available to low-income families and vulnerable individuals. Apply through your local council and join the waiting list. Section C. Navigating tenancy agreements. Key components of a tenancy agreement. Rent amount and payment frequency. Duration of tenancy and notice periods. Who is responsible for repairs and maintenance? Rules about subletting or making modifications to the property. Red flags to watch for. Missing or vague clauses about deposit protection. Verbal agreements without written documentation. Restrictions not aligned with tenant rights, for example no guests allowed. Section D. Resolving issues with landlords. Common tenant-landlord disputes. Withheld deposits. Delayed or inadequate property repairs. Disagreements over rent increases. Steps to resolve disputes. Communicate your concerns in writing and keep records. Report unresolved issues to your local council's housing department. Contact organizations like Shelter for mediation or legal advice. Section E. Budgeting for housing costs. Breakdown of costs. Rent varies by region. For example, £1,500 month in London versus £700 month in smaller cities. Utilities. Expect £150 to £300 month for gas, electricity, and water. Council tax, based on property valuation bands. Discounts apply for single occupants. Additional resources. Sample tenancy agreement checklist. List of tenant support organizations by region. Contact information for deposit protection schemes. Cultural guide. Practical information on British customs, local norms, and public services. Overview. Moving to a new country involves adapting to its customs, traditions, and systems. This guide provides practical insights into British culture, social norms, and public services to help immigrants integrate seamlessly into UK society. Section A. Cultural norms and everyday etiquette. Politeness and communication. Golden rules. Always say please and thank you. Queue. Wait in line patiently. Jumping the queue is considered rude. Everyday phrases. You all right? Is a casual greeting, not necessarily a question about your health. Cheers can mean thank you or goodbye. Small talk, common topics, weather, sports, weekend plans, or TV shows. What to avoid: politics, personal finances, or overly intrusive questions. Section B, navigating public services. Healthcare NHS, registering with a GP, search for a local GP, and complete the registration form. Call 111 for medical advice, or 999 for emergencies. Cost of services: GP visits and hospital treatments are free for visa holders who VE paid the immigration health surcharge. Prescription charges in England are £9.65 per item. Transportation, public transport. Use an Oyster card in London for buses and trains. Rail cards, for example. 16 to 25 railcard offer discounts on train travel. Cycling. Many cities, like London and Cambridge, have bike sharing schemes. Libraries. Services offered: free book loans, internet access, and community events. Libraries often host free English language classes or job hunting workshops. Section C, participating in local communities. Building connections. Join local clubs or cultural associations. Attend events like fairs, music festivals, or sports matches. Volunteering. Why volunteer? A great way to meet people and develop skills. Platforms like do-it.org list local opportunities. Section D, celebrating traditions and festivals. Key celebrations: national holidays, Christmas, Easter, and Bonfire Night. Cultural festivals: Diwali, Eid, and Notting Hill Carnival. Balancing cultures: share your own traditions with neighbors or colleagues. Participate in community events to learn about British customs. Additional resources: a cheat sheet of British slang and common expressions. Top apps for immigrants, for example Citymapper for transport, Monzo for banking. Links to cultural organizations and events by region.